Hello there.
Hello there.
And welcome to What If Qui-Gon Didn't Die? My name's Jamie.
And my name's Shaun.
And we love talking about Star Wars.
Oh, yes, we do.
Did you see, just quickly off topic, because this is just us. We like to go off topic as quickly as possible. Did you see the reel I sent you today of the comedian?
No.
Okay, well, it should be there in your inbox, and I think you're going to enjoy it. Anyway,
I'll watch it after this.
sorry, listener. I'm just not even going to tell you what it is.
Yeah,
It's just
we'll just wait till next week.
making a note.
Yeah.
Talk about
the reel I sent Shaun.
I've seen this comedian live, so it was from a comedian. I saw him live last year. Really like him.
Yeah.
He's called Tamar Katan, and he sounds like a Star Wars character with a name like that.
Yeah, he does.
He looks like he's like Mexican cholo, like he's got the big mustache.
Obviously.
He's bald, but he usually wears like a flat like a baseball cap.
Yeah. Flat cap.
You're flat brimmed. Can't think what they're called. They've got a specific name. Anyway, yeah, pretty funny. Anyway, yes, he did a little stand up about a wallet.
Oh, okay.
It's not very long. It's about a minute or so long, but
okay.
I just really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I think you'll enjoy it too.
Because I've actually, to stay on the Insta topic, we were talking about turning my notifications off.
Yes.
To stop me checking it all the time.
Yeah.
That's what I've done.
And that
has helped.
Yeah,
my Instagram usage has dropped by about got quite a bit on the daily scale of what I use my phone for. It's gone.
Yeah, so I know this is probably better for Chinwag, but here we are. Before we get into what we're going to talk about today, yes, Instagram notifications, they just suck you in because you're like, there's a reel.
Yeah, what is it?
Someone sent me a meme, or is it? What is it? It's going to be good.
Is it boobies?
And then you open up and you go, yeah, that was great, and now I'm just going to scroll for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you're like,
you've wasted half an hour.
Shit,
yeah, that's why I've turned notifications off, and I'm a lot better for it.
And now you'll just go on when you've got time to look, rather than making time for it. You'll just do it when there is actual time.
To have a little laugh at Ron Burgundy and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It really helps. It made a big difference for me.
Yeah.
I still look at it a lot.
Yeah.
I'm never up to date with it.
Yeah.
Which is fine by me.
Yeah. We can be 2 weeks behind.
As long as I see the memes that come in from the friends, then it's all.
Yeah, that's
it.
That's it. As long as the inboxes are cleared. So this week we're going to talk a little bit of Star Wars. I'm going to talk about Star Wars Visions Series Uno,
Series 1, because you have mentioned in the past watching Star Wars Visions.
Yes.
And talking about Instagram, a reel came up with a clip from Star Wars Visions. So I watched it.
Yeah.
And I started a couple of days ago, and I've watched a lot of Series 1.
Series 1. Series 2's not long come out.
So we're just going to have a quick chat about it.
Yes.
Right. So, first of all, let's just go with the first episode, because this is the entry point. This is what you think is going to set the tone.
Yeah.
And when I say set the tone, just so people know, each episode is done by a different artist or a
different studio does a different
studio.
Yeah.
So every single episode has just got its own little twist. Now, I believe these are all non-canon events. They're just they're based in lore-ish, but they're not. They're almost lore adjacent rather than.
Yeah, don't get them confused with the Marvel what ifs, because the what ifs are other storylines from other comic books taken and put into animation for us to see, for people who don't read the comics.
Yeah.
Whereas the Visions here, I haven't seen a comic or a book canon based on some of this stuff. However, some of it obviously takes things that are mentioned and talked about and make them actually the key factor. Yes. Like, obviously, we say about Jedi being almost samurai-ish. A lot of the, obviously, the sort of work that goes into this Visions is, oh, they're actually samurai. We're going to make them look like that.
Well, so this takes us on. We will get to episode 1 in a minute.
Yeah.
But the overarching style is very anime, Asian style.
Yeah.
Cartoon.
Manga,
yeah. Not hentai.
Yeah. Wrong type of manga. Don't type hentai into your search engines, people. Oh dear.
Anyway, so yes, there is a heavy Asian influence on the style of each episode.
Yeah.
So episode 1 is in black and white.
Yeah.
Which is quite cool. The only thing that has colour are the lights on the starships.
Yep.
The lights on the droid.
Yes.
And the lightsabers.
The lightsabers, yeah. And they project their colour. So even though it's black and white and it's very sort of scribbled chalk, so like the hair of people,
it's sketchbook, isn't it?
It's coloured in like it's a sketchbook, yeah. And then obviously when the lightsaber glows, it almost makes them not look sketchy. It's like when the light touches them, they become almost like proper manga style art instead, where it's blocked in. Very well done. And I think I'm a bit like you. When I watched that first episode, I was properly drawn in.
Yeah,
because I was like, if every episode's like this, and it is all sort of, what did I say before, like feudal Japan, sort of samurai styles.
Yeah, exactly.
The droid's got the bamboo hat on, which is just cool.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but it's cool. It's it's just a little...
It's just a little samurai robot.
Yeah.
He loves it. He's cute, isn't he? He's like R2 with an hat on his head.
Yeah. Also, this droid's badass as well.
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that first episode proper drew me in.
Yes. Now, they're not very long episodes either.
No, they're like 15, 20 minutes?
Yeah.
16 minutes?
Exactly. Somewhere between in that range. So it's in black and white. You don't know what's going to happen. You know they're not very long, so they've got to get to the point of the story and move on. So there's a lone traveller. We say lone. He's got his droid. Now, we don't know, but it's a fair guess that he's a Jedi.
Yeah. Considering you're watching a Star Wars thing.
You're going to expect to see some Jedi, aren't you? But there's no hint. You don't see, because of the way it's drawn as well, it's not obvious. You just think perhaps he is, perhaps he isn't.
Yeah.
And he turns up at some old guy's shack, and he's having a bit of food, and he's having some soup, or he's having some tea, a broth. But as he's there, he's in this house overlooking the village.
Yes,
down below.
He's up on the cliff where he parks his ship.
Yeah. And the next thing you know, that village is being invaded.
Yeah, by bandits or pirates or something
by
like that.
By Imperials, I believe. I think they're stormtroopers.
Oh, yeah, but they're...
No. You're right. Yes, they are bandits. But there is also a Sith Lord lurking, or Sith adjacent.
Sith being.
Yes, lurking inside the ship.
Yeah.
For when things start to get ugly. And she's pretty badass.
Oh, yeah, definitely. In the 16 minutes that you have to watch this thing, you're like, wow.
Yeah. And it's great. And there's a nice little action sequence in there. And it's there's no rush to it.
But it is kind of rushed at the same time.
Because it's
16 minutes long.
But that Jedi that we see, who gets referred to as Master Ronin...
Yep.
Which I thought was quite interesting. I quite like that, given how we
say a fair few times.
Yeah, we
refer
to the Jedi being like Ronin, or that's how this should be. He doesn't rush anywhere.
No.
He just wanders down. He just takes his time. He just takes it easy.
Yeah.
He's very sure of himself. But there is a plot twist with him, and I'm not going to spoil it for people who want to watch it.
Yeah.
But that episode... worth a watch, 100%.
Yeah, oh yeah, absolutely.
Whether you like the animated stuff or not, I still think it's worth a watch. Now, keen listeners will know I've not really watched any of the animated stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes I struggle with animated stuff. I don't know why. I think it's just because I'm an old man. But don't get me wrong, I used to love Dragon Ball Z back in the day. I loved Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. Which is the same kind of manga style artwork, isn't it? But when you're younger and your brain's like, oh, colours, funny noises, oh, it's really quick and zippy.
I had seen manga beforehand. I'd watched Akira, and there's another one called Appleseed, I think.
Oh,
anyway, pretty brutal.
Yeah.
And then you get Dragon Ball Z, and you're like, oh, okay, so this is, there's a bit of fight and there's a bit of action. Maybe this is why I don't like Marvel superheroes too much, because it's kind of echoes that, and I've seen it all before.
Yeah,
it just builds up on getting over the top constantly.
Yeah.
But these days I struggle with it.
Yeah, which is fair enough.
So that takes us to
the other episodes.
So episode 1 has drawn me in, like it did with you, because it looks really cool.
Yeah.
The story's got a nice pace to it. It's not overly childish at all.
No, it's quite adult, isn't it? Because the art style, you have to think about what you're looking at.
Yeah.
Because it's not all bright colours and, oh, look at that, it's instant Anakin and Obi-Wan backflipping everywhere.
Yeah.
This is slow, deliberate, how samurai are, which is actually really good how they've done it, because have you ever seen a sword? It is respectful.
Yeah.
And slow, and obviously they do it to show people on camera cutting up fruit or whatever, but they would never draw it really. It's and it is like the Jedi, only if they really have to.
And they're going to draw it slow, so the other person can still decide whether or not they want to
to do this. Yeah. So really good. And then of course, with these visions, you get onto the other ones. Now I smashed them all out.
Same. So I've watched them all in the space of 2 days.
Yeah, and that's that being only 15 minutes a pop, you want a different angle on Star Wars, people. It is worth it to an extent if you like sort of a few different things just to refresh the palette. Some of them not so good, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I agree with this. There are, I would say, there's 3 standout episodes.
Yes,
for me.
Yeah, and I think we know which ones. Me and you both have the same thought here.
Yeah, so I can't remember what numbers each of the episodes are, but one of them's called The Ninth Jedi. Now, this is the one that I saw as the reel on Instagram.
Yes.
That made me think, oh, I should watch this.
Yeah.
And what I thought, what was in this reel that I thought was cool was a change in lightsaber color blade instant,
which is
in some order of words.
And to think the first season of Visions here, just to go a little bit off, was 2021.
Yeah.
And The Acolyte was 2024.
Yeah.
So Visions is the first. Oh no, obviously it's animated, but it's the first time on Disney Plus we had seen the lightsaber go, oh no, I'm actually this colour.
Yeah.
Whereas in The Acolyte, it's a lot more emotional thing that the kyber crystals obviously changed.
Yeah, we get a little insight into it in the episode. So there is a saber smith.
Yes.
And he has created a number of lightsabers. But what he's done is, in creating them, he's made them so they do tune in to the user's alignment
with the Force. Yeah.
So if you are Sith, it's gonna
go red. Yeah. Think Fable 3 when you first pick up the sword you get in the little cave.
Yeah.
And it changes to if you're good or bad or not. And if you've kicked the little kids in the head, it's going to turn into an evil sword straight away.
Love it.
Yeah,
absolutely.
A bit like that.
Love those games.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. There was some really good concepts in there, which I enjoyed. And I do think anything based, I am actually quite keen on.
Yeah.
And this is reflected in some of the other episodes, which includes the 3rd episode. So there was 9 episodes in total, I think.
Yes, 9 episodes in total.
But one of the other episodes was also really cool, because it was the old man and the young Padawan, or the old Jedi and the young Padawan, and they end up fighting the old Sith master, but he's really old.
Yeah, this is episode 7 called The Eldar.
Right.
The Elder. Yeah, and I remember this one because he's not what he seems.
No.
Because doesn't he rip his cloak off, and he's actually not like an old man. He's this horrible.
He's just like he's almost like he is an old man, but he's almost like a gremlin, isn't he?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, he's just old and disgusting. But I liked it because where, like I've said before, the Jedi don't worry about immortality, because if they're balanced within themselves and the Force, they can come back as ghosts whenever they want.
Yeah.
You know, and just watch people doing whatever. You've missed a bit on your bum. Wipe your ass again. But the Sith are more about mortality.
Yes.
So seeing this old Sith in that episode there, and obviously the young Padawan really wants adventure. As we've said before, young teenagers, they're full of hormones. They're going to run off and want to prove themselves and have a fight. And I really want to run up this mountain and look at, exhilarate myself. And then he runs into this ancient Sith.
Yeah, he's lured there, really.
He is, yeah. He's lured there.
The old Jedi, the old master, he stays down at the bottom of the hill, and he's investigating what's going on down there.
Yeah.
And he allows his Padawan to run up, but says, if you need me, you just got to call for me, and I'll be there.
Yeah.
But don't get yourself into trouble. Be careful.
Yeah.
And then he finds out, and the young Padawan gets up there and he finds something and goes, oh, how strange.
Yeah.
And then he meets the old Sith.
Meets the old git, yeah.
But the old Sith master doesn't want the Padawan.
No, he wants the master.
And he hasn't used his original bait for the old master. He's used that for the Padawan.
Yeah.
And the Padawan is the bait for the old master.
Yeah.
Which I thought was really cool. I quite like that. And the fight was quite good. And the sabres that the old Sith has are katana shaped.
Yeah, they aren't straight laser swords. They sort of curve a little bit.
Yeah, and they've got they definitely come up to a sharp point.
Yeah, in the end, not just a rounded edge.
And it made me think, if I was to have a lightsaber hilt, I would like the hilt to be like the samurai, like the katana would be.
Yeah,
like wrapped up or you know,
nice and presented.
Yeah, I think that would be a really cool looking lightsaber.
Yeah. But the thing about the samurai is, and the lightsabers, so they really slowly put it back in.
Yeah, that's right.
Because in the first episode of these visions, I think he keeps it a light, but then he pops it in. But you can't do that if you've made the blade go away.
No.
So it's like you slowly slot it into a little dildo pouch or what? Do you know what I mean?
It is funny because I did think the same thing. I thought, well, how's he putting that in there? Or is it that is made of something like what's the name of the helmet?
Oh, cordite or whatever it is.
I mean, it's unlikely to be cordite itself. It could be some Beskar or something like that.
Beskar or something, and it just contains the sword.
Or maybe it, as the blade, as it were, goes through, it actually retracts slowly.
Yeah, and then as you pull it back out, it then gets its power back. And that could mean that the sword's on all the time, and the sword's ready all the time. So there's no drawing it and then, making it light. It's always there. And when you draw it out, the laser aspect.
If there's one thing to say about this whole series is that what you see on there, you probably won't see anywhere else, and it's being given artistic license because it doesn't have to necessarily follow the rules.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't have to be canon, so they can create that with the sword going into the scabbard and sort of removing it and it being ready to go.
Yeah, and you'll have all of the nerds,
Oh, but the kyber crystal doesn't work like that, Jamie.
Yeah, we know. All right, we know. It's just a little bit of fun. Which is like the the episode with the kid, and I mentioned this earlier, the TOB1.
Yeah.
And he's the little what did I say he was? Pinocchio.
He's like metal Pinocchio.
Metal droid Pinocchio, and the art style is weird, and the bit in Dumbo when he's drunk.
Yeah.
It's a bit like that.
Yes.
It's trippy.
It's very 60s, 70s.
Yeah.
Old
fashioned sort of vibe.
Yeah.
And he dreams of being a Jedi, and then obviously his creator is, I can't remember what he was, an old Jedi or something, but he's made him.
He is a Jedi master, but he keeps it secret.
Yeah. And then obviously the Force brings the kid back as a real kid.
Yeah.
Which is just like, the Force is all powerful, it can sort of do these things, which is cool. But the thing about these visions is, you'll never see that anywhere else.
No.
You won't see that in a film.
which I think works to its credit.
Yeah.
So, like that episode and pretty much all the other episodes, I wasn't that keen on them.
Yeah.
They
were different, and they weren't.
They were a bit too colourful anime style, but they're all very similar, and they all make the stupid noises.
Yeah.
Like just pathetic schoolgirl sort of sounds constantly throughout, which...
They're in a databank somewhere. There's millions of recordings, and it's just called Silly Schoolgirl.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
So I find it hard to get on with that, but the stories themselves are still quite good.
This is why I said to watch them.
Yeah.
Because I knew you wouldn't get on with all of it, but it does give you an outside the box almost. Oh, what a weird way to look at Star Wars, this.
Yeah.
What a weird way to think about how this works, or, you know, it's not all the same, like we always said before, that, you know, like the Acolyte and like the films now. It was 100 years ago, but the technology was stagnant. But when you watch these visions, you're like, oh, that's a different view on the technology. That's a different view on how, you know, this culture might work. Because all the cultures kind of work the same in all of the live action films.
Yeah.
So it's just like the animated stuff. These visions give you a different look
different flavour
how different things work. And yeah, they're not canon, but I quite like. This is the thing. They could have had all them episodes for me with the different storylines, but if they weren't like you say, schoolgirly, colourful, weird.
I mean, there's a furry in one of them.
Yeah, which is just.
I didn't really understand that. Why does somebody need to be a rabbit?
Yeah, no, weird alien thing. I'd rather fly mouth.
Yeah.
You know, the mate who's got a fly for an head. Bring him back. That's fine.
Yeah.
I've seen him in real life. It's fine. But yeah, if it was all a bit more like the first episode, maybe I would probably get behind it a bit more.
Yeah, a little grittier.
Yeah.
Would have been perhaps what I wanted from it.
Yeah.
And I know they still need to cater for the younger audience. And
of course they do, yeah.
Something like this is quite good, I suppose, because it's going to draw in that young audience. There's no swearing in it, there's no blood in it, really. There's nothing that's particularly bad about it.
Yeah.
So anybody could watch it. But good that we get to see a different perspective. I think I struggle with the style.
Yeah, the sort of manga element.
It's the style that I struggle with. The substance is okay.
Yeah, yeah. But that's why I wanted you to watch it. It's nice to go, oh yeah, because like you really like the lightsabers. You'll never see that.
No.
I know we saw what's her face's whip saber in the Acolyte.
Well,
2 seconds.
Yeah, and actually, there are on one of the episodes whip-like lightsabers.
Yeah.
There was the twins who are both Sith.
They were born into Siths. That is episode 3. The twins. Yeah.
And they command joined Star Destroyers.
Yeah.
Which is quite a cool idea.
Yeah.
And they've got a combined weapon.
Yes.
But both sides need to work, and they're just about to fire it for the first time, and then obviously things happen. Anyway, the female half of those twins, she gets really angry, and she gets a kyber crystal, and she sticks it into her chest, into her suit.
Yes, yes.
And then ends up with like whip-like lightsabers, and she's got like 6 lightsabers everywhere, and it's massively over the top.
Yeah.
But again, those whip lightsabers.
There you go.
Now you see it in Acolyte.
Yep. And the visions were out before Acolyte.
Yeah. So, you know, maybe they are looking at these things and going, oh, that's a cool idea.
Yeah.
Maybe we can drop that
This
in.
was in a book once, but let's do a little tester. See if people respond to it or not. I think they're quite good, you know. And a lot of these episodes are very much... Because there's only one episode when you're in a built-up town, and I can't remember which one it is. I think it's the furry one.
I think, yeah.
That's the built-up town and the Empire's involved, and they come down, and it's like a massive cityscape.
Yeah. What's it? Lop and Ocho?
Lop and Lopinoka. Yeah. Yeah, that one. But all the others are kind of like village-esque, well, bar the twins, village-esque, sort of, you know, shogun samurai style, lone wanderer, Yeah, and I don't know. It's just I kind of liked that aspect of it because a Jedi. Because we've seen in the Acolyte, obviously they're stationed on places like sheriffs and detectives and all the rest of it. But I've always preferred the thought that they would be more like wandering samurai.
Yeah.
You know, quiet, head down, using the villagers for shelter and food, but helping them.
And then moving on.
And being like, oh, can I stay under your roof for the night? Of course you can. I'm getting a good vibe off you.
Yeah.
Why is that? Because he's a Jedi, but he doesn't let you know that. He's just a traveller in your eyes.
Yeah.
You know, he's Gandalf all covered over. And then when he finally goes into Rohan's hall and takes his grey cloak off and he's all white.
Yeah.
You know, that's kind of what I like about that side of the Jedi, you know. They're all covered over. And then if there's an attack on the village and they happen to be there, or they're investigating an attack on the village, you know, when they find out what's really going on, they're like, oh, do you know what I'm just going to do? I'm just going to whip my old Gandalf cloak off here. And everyone's going to see the brown and the cream tucked into the belt. And they're going to go, oh, hold on a minute.
Yeah.
Here's Jedi.
He's serious.
He means business. Yeah. Oh, yes. And there's his droid with a little bamboo hat. Love that. Yeah. I don't know. There's something about it. I like that aspect of it.
And I don't want to spoil that first episode because there will be people who have not watched it.
Yes.
And if you were to watch any episode in the whole series, that would be the one I would say to watch.
Oh, definitely watch episode 1, yeah, to see what you think.
Because it's only 15 minutes.
It's only 15 minutes. The longest one on there is 25 minutes, and that's the 9th Jedi. The one you're on about where the kyber crystals change.
Which is actually a pretty good episode.
That's a good episode, yeah. I might watch season 2, you know, because it's just, I don't know, there might be some different stuff on there.
I think it's all still going to be in a similar style.
Yeah.
I think it's one of those which if I do watch it, I'll have it on when I'm doing something else. Yeah, it'll kind of be in the background.
So you can watch it, but your brain's sort of like, I'll just...
Yeah.
But yeah, it's good. It's good to think about, and I like how they took a few things from the books, and then, like I said before, a few things that I don't know. Maybe they're all from the books, but it seems to me like a few things are made up.
Yeah.
But that's quite good to see because if they can do this in the visions, what's wrong with them getting our little idea for Ahsoka and Leia training, and they go, oh well, why don't we do a little episode on this? What if?
I was just going to say, like, these visions are probably quite similar to what we do here, except they turn it into something that you can see rather than just us waffling on.
To us waffle, yeah. Because, I mean, that's it. If somebody turned our little chinwag from last week, our little Star Wars day last week, into a vision thing, it could be done. You would have Ahsoka and thingy, and you could, you know what, that's a really, like I say, it only needs to be 15 minutes long. And you could be like, oh, what an awesome little random thing, which obviously is not going to be true.
Yeah.
But, you know, a little disclaimer in the corner, this is actually didn't happen. You know, but every one of our things, you know, they could go so far. And I know obviously what they're doing is they're going, oh, here's loads of like little mini developers. Let's give them a shot. You know, they've put in, maybe they've done a competition to have an animation put on Disney Plus or whatever. I don't quite know how they've got up there, but it is just such a, they could do so much more with it because it's like Star Wars Resistance. Yeah. Which not a lot of people watch because it's more about this little station and the Resistance, not Rebels. So you have the Clone Wars and the Rebels, and then the Resistance. The Resistance more cartoony, and it's a bit. Oh, I don't know. I watched it, but like they have got the studios to do these things.
Yeah.
And so that's just like they could go down so many avenues. They could take a book and make a cartoon film like these visions. And I think people would still watch it, even if it's not lore accurate. They could go, well, here's a book that we found. Obviously, it's not canon anymore, but we've been able to make it into a film because this studio has said that they'll do it.
Yeah.
And the art style might be a little bit kooky, but here's a different view on a story that you all love.
Yeah, because there's plenty of people out there who really enjoy watching all the anime stuff.
Of course they do.
It's hugely popular, and they're maybe not interested in watching Star Wars as it is, or even, you know, watching the Clone Wars in its own animated style.
Yeah.
But they might actually really enjoy or prefer
The manga style Star Wars.
Yeah.
And that's just another avenue Disney can go. Give us all your money for your subscriptions.
Yeah.
Because we've got the manga Star Wars here.
Nobody else is going to be doing it.
Nobody else can do it because they can't afford to fight us in court. But yeah, and like I say, they could take any book, any comic, and all these times I say about Luke, and he's a frustrated Jedi, and all these comics, he's made mistakes, blah blah blah. Everybody loves Luke, but he's actually a bit of a silly boy sometimes.
Yeah.
They could literally take the artwork from the comic and just put it into a TV show, comic book style, and say this comic is based in this time, and here's 20 minutes of just Luke being a bit upset because he's made another mistake. But you won't ever see that because poor Mark Hamill's a bit old now, and they can only CGI his face so much until they just get another actor in there. But they don't need to do it live action, because why don't they pay an up and coming studio and go, do you know what, we'll give you a shot, let's do this, and then if you're really good, and then you can start making your shorts for Disney, because they should be including studios that have talent and that have good ideas. Do you know what I mean? And then, so when all the people who worked on Marvel and Disney and Star Wars and all the rest of it have all sort of taken a back seat, they go, well, actually, it's all right because we've got a new era of animators coming in with new ideas and new ways to do it. We don't need, even though I love the Minions films because they're just funny as hell, but we don't need Minions 102.
No.
Let's have some fresh ideas. And these visions are sort of, and I know it sounds really weird, but they're like the tiniest little stepping stone into, this is what some people can do.
Yeah, and it is good for that.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, I think it's good to see alternate views or visions. You know, it is nice to sort of to have that take. Well, yeah, I agree. I should probably watch season 2 anyway.
Yeah.
And it's not top on my list, but it's not very long. So if I'm just sat down, I can flick it on, and you know, when I finish watching The Boys.
Yeah, The Boys. Every time, The Boys. Because you won't ever watch Clone Wars, Rebels, or Bloody Bad Batch.
The problem is, and I would like to watch it, but it's so long.
There's a lot to it.
And it's just one of those daunting tasks where I'm like, oh, I would like to. It's probably just as long as The Boys. Because they're long episodes, but there's something about it that makes me go, oh, it's too long, I can't.
Yeah. There's a lot of filler episodes, and I can't remember exactly which ones you don't need to watch. So if you had a list...
I'd watch them all anyway, because that's just the way it is. But then I'm always like, I've got something else to watch, I've got something else. Something else pops up, or I'm just too busy, or I've just got this game to play, I've just got this video to make, or whatever.
That's why I'm glad I watched it when I did.
Yeah.
Because if I had to watch them now, all 7 seasons of the Clone Wars, I'd be like that. Oh, daunting. I ain't got time. But you know, more of these Vision things. Season 2, I'm going to watch. I might walk away thinking the same as I did for the first season.
But at least you've watched it.
At least I've watched it. Maybe there is an episode on there which touches a bit more on, I don't know, Qui-Gon's mask. That would be a nice thing. Oh, we're going to do a show called The Acolyte. Do one of you little mini studios want to talk about how he gets his helmet? Because what a nice little thing that would be.
Yeah.
You know.
And actually interesting, let's talk about The Acolyte for just a second more.
Oh, go on then.
Well, The Acolyte is clearly very Asian influenced, isn't it?
Yes.
And these visions are very Asian influenced.
Yeah.
So the two, that maybe there is a bit of crossover, more than we've just seen with the lightsaber.
Well, the episode with the twins, that's funny because Acolyte's the twins.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's a different take on it.
So is Luke and Leia.
Yeah, exactly. It's all
twins are everywhere.
Twin based. I just think Anakin's getting around a bit because he's the only one who seems to give birth to twins at the moment.
Yeah.
He's got the sperm of twin age.
Yeah, it'd just be interesting to see if in the second series there is a bit more, even if it is just a slight thing, like that lightsaber thing was just, it's such a small portion of that episode.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was such a big talking point.
Yeah.
In the series. So it'd be interesting to see what else just turns up as a brief spark.
But actually makes you think.
And then you go, oh, saw that elsewhere.
Yeah.
Oh, so this is more about what that is.
Imagine
I'm
this
interested
bit here.
now, yeah.
Yeah. Where does, we see all these different aliens. Maybe one of the episodes should focus on an alien and where they come from.
Yeah.
What home planet are they from? Why do they act this way? and then you go, oh, what a cool little episode that were.
Yeah.
Where we just saw him going home to feed his family. He's actually a pirate smuggling murderer. But he goes home to feed his little fly-faced baby, and everything's cushy.
Yeah.
You know, they could go far, because unlike Marvel's What If, which is the same art style every episode, and even though it seems like they're not connected, they are.
Yeah.
Visions isn't What If. Visions is literally random studios making random episodes that don't interconnect at all. But I quite like that element of it as well, because they're not connected.
I like the freedom that they've got with it.
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. The freedom there. It's not somebody going, right, in the end all of these have got to link up and it's all got to make sense. Why? They're just random episodes.
Yeah.
You know, and if they do another episode of them and they carry them on, maybe that's good enough, but they don't have to.
No.
But I would like to see more of the first episode.
Yeah, I'd like to see that continued.
Yeah, just even if it was like one a year, and they goes, we've made another episode for this guy. This is another adventure he had.
Yeah.
And I'd go, awesome.
I'll watch that.
Yeah, that one's cool. Yeah, this one's 25 minutes. Go on then. Because last year's one was only 10 minutes long.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be really good. Right, well, dear listener, if you've watched Visions,
yeah, get in touch.
Let us know. What did you think? Did you like them all? Did you like specific ones? Did you not like any of them? And what were your biggest takeaways from it?
Yeah,
standout moments.
And if you've seen any comics or books with sort of the base line for some of these Visions episodes, maybe I've talked absolute smack, and every episode is actually from a comic. Do you know what? Get in touch and let me know, because I'm really interested to know if they've drawn it from somewhere.
Yeah.
Or if it's just, we're going to do this.
Yeah. We'd love to hear your thoughts on the series.
Yeah.
And if you haven't watched it, feel free to get in touch anyway and just say I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it looks like pants, or haven't had time.
It's not my cup of tea.
Yeah, this is it. Well, it might not be.
That's fine.
That's the thing, yeah.
But yeah, right. Well, let's wrap up there.
Cool.
And pleasure as always.
Absolute pleasure talking to you, sir. As always, you know how it is.
As always.
So,
look after yourself.
Be good.
And stay out of the sand.